In this video, I want to go over the basic parts of a firearm cartridge as well as a basic overview of how it functions. To start off with, the basic ready-to-shoot assembly you load into your gun is referred to as a cartridge. This entire assembly is not a bullet, it is a cartridge. The parts that make up the cartridge are a primer assembly right here, the case or shell, the gunpowder, and the actual bullet. The bullet is usually lead and can be coated with a protective material such as copper. Before going into the operation of the cartridge, I wanted to go over the terms used to describe the different areas of the case. At the end here is the primer pocket. This is where the primer assembly is pressed into. Connecting the primer pocket to where the gunpowder is referred as the flash hole. You could see it right here as a hole. This end of the case is referred to as the head. The area between here and here is called the body. This slanted portion is called the shoulder, and this straight portion where the bullet is seated is referred to as the neck. The open area of the case is referred to as the mouth. The material between the primer pocket and the head right here is referred to as the web. This small groove in the head area is referred to as the extraction groove. When a cartridge is assembled, the primer assembly is pressed into the primer pocket. Gunpowder is then fed in through the mouth of the case, and then the bullet is pressed into the mouth of the case. As far as how the cartridge functions, it is first loaded into your gun. The cartridge is secured via the extraction groove like this. This small groove on the bolt goes onto the extraction groove and holds it in place. When you pull the trigger in your gun, a small pin out of the hole right here hits the primer assembly very quickly. When the pin hits the primer assembly, it will look something like this. After the pin strikes the primer assembly, the entire cartridge is forced to slide forward. At this point, the primer assembly ignites and a small flame passes through the flash hole, which then ignites the gunpowder. Through a chemical reaction, a flame propagates through the entire length of the case. Enormous amounts of pressure are built up, which expand the casing outward to contact the inside diameter of the chamber. As pressures begin to rise, the bullet begins to move forward out of the neck. Because the pressures force the case to expand, there's a lot of friction holding the case. The intense pressures force the head back to contact the bolt, which results in stretching in this area. The bullet is still beginning to accelerate along the inside of the barrel. Because of the rifling on the inside of the barrel, it's also beginning to spin. As the bullet travels along the length of the rifle, these gases continue to expand and pressure begins to build until it peaks at some point while the bullet is inside the barrel. After the bullet leaves the barrel, the pressure again drops to zero and immediately exits the barrel as a flash. As far as number goes, depending on the caliber, weight, and gunpowder, the bullet can reach speeds of over 3,000 feet per second or about 2,000 miles per hour. It will also be spinning up to 200,000 RPMs, depending on the rifling of your specific firearm. Depending on many variables, pressure inside the case can reach up to 60,000 pounds per square inch. In this video, I went over the parts and terms that make up a cartridge, as well as the different parts of a case. I also went over the basic operation of how a cartridge works once you pull the trigger in your weapon. If this video was helpful, please like and subscribe.